Is my mic on? Can y'all hear me?
It's
It's low a little bit. Oh, damn, it's on.
so it is on, but it's just not pointing towards your mouth. There you go, Keith.
Okay, testing. Yep, here we go. All right.
All right, thank you everybody for coming up and joining us for the talkback moment. It's good to see all your faces again, and we can just breathe in that beautiful. Oh my gosh, that episode is amazing. It was so lovely to be in that space and just witness that art and that piece.
I don't even know how to feel right now.
Yeah.
I'm in shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you go into a little bit, like if you want to decompress in front of everybody,
It's
what
so
that feels like.
much. Actually,
Also, this is the first time Willie has seen this.
Yeah.
He has not seen this.
I've never seen this until
We
tonight.
kept it from him, even when he tried a few times.
I
But
did.
we kept
like,
it
I really
from
wanted
him.
to see it. Whoa.
So
I realized that I'm funny as shit, though.
You are though.
Funny
You
as
really are.
shit, y'all. Like, I told that guy his eyes were social distancing. That shit is funny. Like, that's some funny shit, y'all.
So I have one question. So what's your initial watching, your feelings watching yourself?
I'm gonna take over the fucking world. That's my initial reaction. It's very personal. It's very like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this shit. But like, it was amazing. Like the way you, first of all, the beginning shots with the aerial shots, like fucking amazing.
Come on,
it's just
Lisa.
delicious. The way, I love the way you captured community. Like so much so, like I walk around the city and like what y'all saw is me every fucking day. Literally, damn near everybody that I know that's in this room, I met like randomly. Like unless we went to college together like me and Kayla, but like even then I think it was randomly on campus. But Saj and I met randomly downtown Brooklyn, like, and because she was wearing this key and I started talking to her about Papa Legba who opens the door. And then the next thing I know, she's giving me free rehearsal space at Hunter College, and then she's directing me, and then now she's sitting here. So like, for me, my life is so many of these every day, all day, that I'm like, man, how can I show people what I experience? Like, people need to see this fucking magic, and you captured that shit. Like, so my mind's blown.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very, no, thank you for that. You did that shit.
But that was kind of one of the things, to like jump off of that was one of the things I was thinking about too for y'all, like being in Bedside, being on Bainbridge, like how did you feel like a part of that community by the end of it? Like it was, and also if you want to say a little bit the scope of time that you spent with Willie, like kind of what that felt like and how you were, ingrained in Bed-Stuy a little bit.
Yeah, so we actually filmed it over 6 days, and what you just saw was 30 minutes. So 6 days into 30 minutes, there's so much that we had to take out. We've been doing this edit over 10 months. And it's slowly been dwindling down to what you just saw. So in terms of the neighborhood community aspect, Bainbridge is lit. It's lit. I'm serious. It's so much happening over there. And following Willie is like, it's like that Spike Lee film type of, you're walking around and it feels like Brooklyn. Like, literally, that's what it was like for us, filming him. And the whole experience was incredible. It really was.
Yeah.
I think one thing we may be not sharing with you all is their connection to me. So the thing is, I filmed a music video this time last year called List of Demands, and my production partner, Gabe, I keep him with me. He's a 6'8" white man, and he is a source of protection.
Yes.
Everyone needs to find you one. Get you one, okay? How you get your reparations? No, I'm kidding. Actually, I'm very serious.
Yeah.
Like, he's all about reparations, so like that's the work we do. And one of my closest dear friends. But he said to me, he was like, hey, we're gonna need like an assistant director for the music video. I'm like, okay. So I put out a call, and then I hop on a call with Lisa. Lisa is my assistant director for them. For that, her partner shows up. I hope you don't mind me spilling your tea. Okay. Her partner, Travania, shows up and is acting as, I think, a volunteer PA. Right, but you were doing all the things, like going to get the pizza, going to get bottles of water. Like, it just was on, and I was like, okay. And she was like, oh, just so you know, I produced. And so then a short film came. Like, I've been wanting to do this short film. And so I talked to Lisa about co-directing with me. And then I talked to Travania about producing, and Travania was like, I'm on board. Well, at the time, The star of the movie couldn't do it, so I was like, Shivani, do you want to star in it as well? So she was like, I guess I'll do it. And so then we filmed a whole short film together. Fast forward to Willie Gets Naked, the TV series. Gabe tells me, hey, we might need a story producer. So then I put out a call and then I meet Pamela. And an amazing producer on top of her shit. And like I said, they all became family through filming Willie Gets Naked. As we were filming, and so then I hired Lisa as the director of the pilot episode of Willie Gets Naked. Because I'm like, we're a community, let's keep it all in-house. Also, we make sure we center queer and trans people of color. Women, femmes, like that's how we do. We're at the center of our work. And so I was like, I want 2 directors. So anyway, it was Lisa and someone else. Lisa ended up getting this grant from Sony to do this project, Common Characters, while we were filming. So that is the full connection of all of this. So then they ended up becoming their own team and doing Common Characters. So yeah, that's how we are all sitting here right now.
And so, yeah.
Yeah.
But so then what was the impetus, like, oh, now that we have common characters, we need to make sure that we have this specific, like, recording of this journey starting with you in this moment? Like, how did that kind of?
So I think to answer that, I need to talk about the series itself. So Common Characters, what you just saw is actually a proof of concept. So it's the pilot episode of an entire series. Willie is the first character of the series Common Characters. So we have 5 characters, okay? One is in Haiti, one is in Sierra Leone, one is in LA. So we're trying to take this international. Do you want to add that? Well, let me say, so I want to talk about a little bit how I came up with Common Characters, just so you understand the context of it. I found that in my experiences in my life and traveling, you meet a lot of people. Like if I'm walking my dog in the park, you see the dude who's like skating and rollerblading, or you see the dude who's sitting there knitting a hat every day. I mean, if anybody got pets, especially a dog, y'all outside every day, right? So you see those common characters every day, and that's how I came up with the title for it. In terms of the concept, as Willie is saying, I really wanted to center marginalized voices. And so when you think about, I like to use this example, right? If I said, think about an African woman, what comes in your mind when I say African woman? And what'd you say? What country, right? You might think about the country.
I thought Issa Rae.
Issa Rae.
Yeah.
She is African. You're right.
I know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm really the genius. Did you forget? Okay. All right.
So like you might think about Issa Rae or the country or her skin or like the color in her fabric or the language she speaks or the village, you know what I mean? But you wouldn't think African woman CEO. You wouldn't think African woman, advisor to President Joe Biden. But one of our characters is that. Our character in Sierra Leone is the CEO of a solar energy company and is the advisor to President Joe Biden's administration. Wow. So the whole point with Common Characters was we wanted to kind of switch the narrative. We wanted to, literally the tagline is make the marginalized more normalized and the uncommon more common. And that's where Common Characters comes from. So that's a little bit of a background for why we created this. Thank you, Willie, for being the first subject, the first character. And we really want to finish this series. Sony was so gracious to give us some seed funding so that we could film this. My father was supposed to be the first subject. He passed away before we could finish filming. But literally, I started filming this 6 days after my father passed. Yeah. So it's been a journey to get to this point, and we want to finish it. So we still have characters left. Around the room, you'll see papers. So please donate, give whatever you can, so we can finish this series and get these stories out there because they need to be told. So.
Absolutely.
Thank you, and I'm so sorry I didn't hear about that. And thank you for being here anyway and pushing through and continuing to give us your art through that. I mean, to delve in a little bit more about the cinematography and the creative and the artistic aspect of this episode itself, kind of what went into putting that together and the music. You have Kia in it. You have Emily. Lovely.
You did that. You did that. Yeah.
So in terms of the creative aspects with the show, so if you notice, the subtitles are color-coded. If you notice, there's music notes whenever there was a singy tone or like actual music playing or Willie was, joking around. There's flowers in the beginning and the end. All of that was very intentional. Even Kia's, I don't know if you all know the performer Kia, who was kind of, when Willie said, I need a moment, and we went into this whole musical performance, some of y'all, I'm sure, was like, what is going on? But the idea was to literally give Willie that moment, to really show his psyche, to really put into words what he might be feeling at that time. And so everything about it was intentional. The subtitles are colored because we wanted anyone to be able to see it. If you're deaf, we want it to be inclusive. You can understand that different people are saying that. We wanted flowers in the beginning and the end because we want to give people their flowers. When we're pitching this to people, that's what we say. Common Characters is about giving people their flowers. So we wanted to put flowers in it. So everything we did was, we were trying to be as intentional as possible.
I'm so glad you said that, because when I saw that, the moment with Kia, just so y'all know, that is one of the music segments from the fucking...
That's literally
the
from
pilot.
Willie Gets Naked.
That is from Willie Gets Naked.
Yeah.
So I was going to whoop Lisa's ass in private, but now I can whoop it in public. Actually, it was beautiful. That was a beautiful moment.
That's a little
nobody
scene
was
for
supposed
you.
to see that yet. I was like, no, why? But it was so beautiful, I couldn't even get it back. It is what it is. It was gorgeous. It was, perfect. Yeah.
That just means you gotta look forward to Willie Gets Naked.
Oh no, it's so much more to come. Yo, that pilot is gonna blow y'all's mind. It is beyond. You have never seen a late night talk show like this. I promise you. It is beyond. And no, it's okay. Yeah, that's it. Just a plug.
Yeah, do we have any questions from the audience? We'd like to open it to the floor.
Yeah.
Just a quick couple ones because we have to continue with the night, but please feel free. Do you have anything you want to share? Don't be shy.
Any questions, concerns, snide
Yeah,
remarks?
go right ahead. Sorry.
Love them braids, by the way. It's so good.
The whole fit. Yeah, the whole fit. The whole fit.
The whole fit is a vibe.
Yes.
We love to see it.
Get naked, but
Yeah.
You don't need to get naked. Stay dressed.
Yes.
You look
That's
good.
to you. That's to you.
So, hi, my name's Deandra. I did want to know, I know you speak about having HIV and overcoming addiction. I want to know, like, how did those things maybe help guide you to Willie Gets Naked?
Oh, I mean, thank you for asking that. Oddly enough, I almost think it's self-explanatory more than it is, right? For me, as I said in the documentary, typically we don't get space to unpack our shit. We're told to shut up and keep making money for these billionaires. That was keeping me in a cycle of repeating patterns, of cycle of, I often say that, like, I feel like understanding being a voodooist, being a spiritualist, I manifested HIV into my life. We all manifest it. You know what I mean? I don't want to say like people choose their addiction or diseases, but we do manifest it. You know what I mean? And I manifested it based off of what was told to me. My first experience with HIV was in high school. I want to say it was like junior, senior year, somewhere around that. I remember something catastrophic had happened in the world. Pick an event, 9/11, something, right? And so the Red Cross came to school, and you got a bunch of black and brown kids wanting to like donate blood. And I remember like getting the paper and being like, man, we about to give some blood, man. We're gonna show up for the community. And like I remember seeing it say, are you gay? Are you a man who's ever had sex with men? And I knew exactly what that meant immediately. I knew what that meant. But also at 16, 17, 18, and yes, I'd had plenty of sex by then with men. I also didn't. I also did not have the tools to be able to navigate something like that. So I just kind of quietly closed my paper and moved away from it and left. You get what I'm saying? But I knew that they were saying if you are a man who has had sex with men, that you probably have HIV. So it felt like they were saying, you know what, if you're gay, just get in line, pick up your HIV and keep it moving. So for me, it was kind of, and don't get me wrong, like I went on a marketing tour with Camel cigarettes, and every city that I was in, I was at a bathhouse fucking. Like, it just is. We ain't got no kids in here, is it? No? Okay, I was having sex everywhere, you get what I'm saying? And so I am very clear that, like, because it was already expected for me to live this type of lifestyle, I just leaned into it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, what would that have looked like if, one, we didn't have problematic ass systems saying that my blood that was absolutely fine, you know what I mean, that I couldn't even show up to help someone else. You know what I mean? And so I feel like in a lot of these ways, we are socialized to pick up these things and manifest the things that we end up manifesting. You know what I mean? And so me getting naked is me taking off all of those expectations, right? Like for me, towards the end of the addiction, I literally would get high and I would lie in the bed and I would search my body, or I'll say like my aura, for any energetic blockages. And then I'd ask myself, okay, what is that? Oh shit, that's when you were called fat when you were in elementary school. Okay, what does that mean? Like, let's unpack that. And I would literally sit there for hours on end, unpacking like, well, what does this mean? Well, who taught you that, you know, that you were fat? And then, okay, well, why is fat bad to you? Who said that fat was bad? How do you feel about this? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the more I started to unpack it, I was like, I actually don't really give a fuck about being fat. I'm actually okay with it. It's you. Well, not you. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, you as in the world that's telling me to feel like this. So for me, it's like, fuck this. I'm getting literally naked. Like, my body is my body. This body has taken me through so much. 37 years of shit. And I'm here. So I'm gonna get butt ass naked and shake my ass, my toes, my titties, all in the face of all of it. You get what I'm saying? They gonna get all of this all the fucking time until I leave here. Amazing. Fuck them.
Thank you for the question. We'll take one more question from the audience. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Willie.
Denzel. That's the face, excuse me. The face, darling.
I just want to first of all say thank you so much for this whole experience. I just feel like you are really such a nucleus in a lot of our lives. And I like that you mentioned earlier, a lot of people in the room you met so randomly. I was literally just telling Dave here. He asked me, he said, when did you meet Willie? And I was like, I met Willie randomly at a block party in the summer.
On Tompkins.
And he came up to me and my friends, and then he came to my pride party. And you were just like the median for everyone in my party. And I just feel like being here, I brought my sister.
Yeah.
My sister on my party.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Such a beautiful experience as being a young black queer man, and just hearing you talk, how you articulate yourself, it's just so inspiring for me. So first, I want to say thank you. And second, I just want to ask you, for people who were in a space that you were in 10 years ago, when you caught HIV and you were overcoming your addiction, or even 10 years before that when you were in high school and you went through that phase with giving blood, what would you give that person, or even if you could speak to yourself 10, 20 years ago, what would you say to that kid, or the kid that would look at common characters and see you as a pilot episode and say, wow, like what would you say to that kid that may be in a similar struggle?
You know what? That's a great damn question. You know what? Honestly, man, because of the way I choose to live my life, I understand that, like, and I'll use some biblical terms from the Christians. You know, all things work for the good of those who love the Lord, right? And Audrey Lord is the Lord I'm talking about. Let's be clear.
Just for the record.
You know, and so for me, I have to know that every single thing works together for the good of me. You know, and so like, while I would not change anything in my particular life, for the kid that may be in the exact same position, I think I would cut out all the noise outside of you. Because the one thing I realized, like, I swear to God, man. So like, okay, towards the end of the addiction, I literally would get on the train because I was living in kind of the underbelly of society. I would ride around and I would tell my business to any and everybody. And I would leave them right then and there. We would get and go our separate ways, and that was it. And it was so therapeutic because, like, the more I would be like, yeah, you know, I'm a crystal meth addict. And they'd be like, oh, shit, I ate too much this weekend. Be like, yeah, no, like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone, and that's what honestly made all of this come of that. Like, I realized we all are dealing with something. So for me, I want to get to the point where we understand that, like, you are truly, like, perfectly, divinely made just the way you are. There is nothing wrong with any of us in this room. Like, I want people to understand, like, we are perfect. There's nothing wrong with any of us. You know, like, but the world will tell you that everything in you is fucked up. Like, they will tell you and these are people who are also, they have not figured out their life. They haven't. What do they say? People giving you constructive criticism, like, look at what they've constructed. And now, I'm quick in a moment when someone tells me something, I will flip it back around on them. Like, this good advice you're giving me, so what did you do with it? Huh? What did you do with your time here on earth? Nothing. Most of these old ass people who want, and not to be ageist, but seriously, if you've had a certain amount of time and what you've constructed is what you've constructed, you sit with that. But get the fuck out of my way and out of my business. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to give this to the next generation, to like, you gonna get the hell out their business too. Right. Me and their business. Let them, like, let us all figure out, because if you figured it out, this world wouldn't look the way it does. If you know how to fix it, this world wouldn't look the way it does. You know what I mean? Their lives wouldn't look the way it does. So I was like, the moment I decided to pick up and start really centering Willie as the nucleus of my life, everything around me just started to elevate. Not only that, but I noticed that everyone around me also started to elevate. So I'm staying in that shit. Like, so I hope that answered the question.
Thank you so much for the question. Here, Saja, I'll let you introduce the next portion.
Yeah. Sorry, what'd you say, Leslie? Oh, sorry. Oh, yes. So we're gonna get into giving you a little taste of what Willie Gets Naked, the theatrical show, is gonna be about. But before we get into it, we're gonna have a quick little change. Egypt is gonna give us some music. We're gonna bop a little, get a little nasty if we want to, and then please eat everything that is here. So eat, dance, twerk, and then we'll be back with a little snippet.